He's the number 1 seed at 149 pounds, entering the weekend with a 16-1 record. Yianni is a 3-time NCAA champion, 2022 World Championship silver medalist, and 2-time member of Team USA's World Team. Next, we have Daton from Oklahoma State University. He's the number 2 seed at 133 pounds, entering the weekend with a 26-0 record. He's a 4-time Big 12 champion and a member of the Team USA World Team, 3-time NCAA runner-up, and a native of nearby Sand Springs, Oklahoma. And finally, we have Parris from Michigan. He is the number 1 seed at 285 pounds, entering the weekend with a 28-0 record in search for his first NCAA title. Open for questions, Jason.
Jason Elmquist, Stillwater News Press. Daton, you've told me stories about how you came to this tournament as a kid for your birthday and whatnot. How different is this one though, because it is in your backyard?
It's special. It's right here, probably 10 minutes away from the house I grew up in. So it's going to be exciting, and I'm just looking forward to competing.
This is a question for all three of you. Yianni, I got a kick of the fact that one time you wrestled Spencer Lee when you were a little kid. Well, I'm sure that happened maybe to both the other two of you. I was hoping you could think back to those memories, but the fact that since you guys are wrapping up your college career, what advice would you offer to little kids maybe want to be here someday?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of two sides of it. On one hand, you want to take all those challenges and find the best guys and push yourself every opportunity you get. But on the other side, it's you're going to look back on your 10-year-old wrestling career and laugh at it, you know what I mean? And obviously, that's where you develop, it's where you learn and get better, but you're not going to live and die by your Tulsa Nationals performance when you're in the 8 and under division, right? So just kind of have that perspective and make it about growth and development more than, how great you are at 10 years old.
Wrestling as a kid, I sometimes put a lot of pressure on yourself, but the main thing is go out there and have fun. And I think the main thing is the life lessons you learn from wrestling. The discipline, the hard work. I think it's huge for little kids to learn that kind of stuff. And wrestling has really helped mold me into the person that I am. And I think sticking with wrestling, you can accomplish anything you want in your life.
Yeah, I always tell kids, wrestling is too hard of a sport to, put that much pressure on yourself. So it's more about, especially when you're young, it's having fun and falling in love with the sport. Because if you don't love the sport, whenever you get to, college and whenever it starts to matter a little bit more, then it's not, it's not worth it at that point if you're not in love with it. So that's what I always tell kids.
Thank you. My name is Adam Engel with the Ocali. This question is for Mason Parris. I'm just curious, what's it like wrestling in a tournament without Gable?
Yeah, this is my first year, where I'm, coming in as the number 1 seed, and this year, I he's not here. I'm gonna wrestle whoever's in front of me, and I'm taking out, everyone, who comes across me. So, I'm coming in this season with this tournament with a lot of confidence, feeling really good. Body's feeling good, mind's feeling good. So, really excited, and whoever's in front of me is, who I'm going to go out and compete against.
Follow-up there for you, Mason. So you have wins over the 2, 3, and 4 seeds. How confident are you going into this, and who do you view as your biggest competition for the title?
Yeah, I'm coming in here, with a lot of confidence. Like I said, I've, sacrificed a lot this year, and, I almost want to say, I've been obsessive this year over wrestling and, getting, my first NCAA title. And, I'm going to be happy, regardless of the outcome, just because I know, how much work I've put in and, how much I've sacrificed. So, this year's, been an amazing, experience for me, spiritually. So, like it doesn't matter, who comes across from me, and I'm gonna wrestle, whoever is that guy that's toeing the line with me.
Hi, Alex Cash, Fox 23. This is for Daton. How important is this hometown crowd to you? And do you think it will sort of help spur you on in the moment?
I'd like to think so. I think there'd be a lot of people, that have supported me, that'll show up, and all I can do is go out there and compete like I do, and try to give back to them that way. It's exciting, that it's in my hometown, so I'm just gonna embrace that and go out there and put it on the line.
What will it mean to you if you do win here in your own backyard?
Obviously it's gonna mean a lot. I've been, real close 3 times, so to finally break through in my hometown, it mean the world to me.
Daton, just in terms of you've battled him a couple times now in the finals, just do you know much about Roman Bravo Young off the mat, or have you guys gotten to know each other, or what do you know about him?
No, we don't really know each other that well off the mat, so he seems like a good guy off the mat, I'd say, but we haven't really got the chance to become buddies.
Again, this is a question for all 3 of you. All of you have excelled at the world level. 2 of you on the senior level, not yet for you, Mason. But can you talk about how different this competition is compared when you go to the world competition?
Yeah, this is a lot more of a spectacle. And if you're not the kind of guy who can stay focused for a really long time and drown out all of this kind of stuff that we're doing right now, this tournament can get very difficult. And it's the guys with the World Championships, they're better, but it's more about the wrestling there. So part of making a run at the NCAA tournament is just handling all of the extracurriculars and kind of making it however you want to handle that.
Yeah, I wrestled, junior world championships in Estonia, so, I do have some experience. I was on the national team for the Olympic team, a few years ago. So, I think the biggest difference is, I don't know anyone, at those big, tournaments, but, all these guys here I've been wrestling with for a really long time, and I'm pretty comfortable with a lot of those guys. But, like Yianni said, is, just getting comfortable with, all the extra stuff that's going on, and, interviews, and, all the people that are seeing you. So, there's definitely a difference, and, it's just handling it, and it's just like any other wrestling match.
Yeah, it's obviously I think the biggest difference is the style difference. It's freestyle versus folk style. I think folk style's a lot. You can't just go out there and get a match over in a minute. And I mean, you could if you go out there and get a fall, but it's a lot harder to go out there and pin someone in folk style than go out there and put 10 points on the board real quick in freestyle. So I think that just it's more of a grind. Folk style the whole season leading up to it. Most of the time when you're going overseas, you've just been training for that one tournament, and you're a little bit more, your body's a little fresher. So we've been going a full season, and this is the show, and that's what they do. They try to do. They try to put on a good show for the fans and everybody, and it's good for the fans. But we just got to stay focused as wrestlers and go out there and do our jobs.
Question for Yianni. You won this tournament as a true freshman back in 2018. You had a 2-time champ in your quarter. It was a really loaded bracket. Contrast your emotions and maybe mental approach then to what it might be now.
To be honest, it's kind of been the same every year. My freshman year, I showed up expecting to win, and I believed in myself, and I really thought I was the best guy in the weight class. And, it's kind of the same this year. Obviously, I got to go and make it happen. But there was never a time where I felt like I was overcoming the odds. I always believed in myself. I always bet on myself. And I think that's part of, probably part of the reason why I had that success my freshman year.
A follow-up. When did becoming a 4-time national champion be something that was on your radar, become like an actual tangible goal in your mind?
I mean, like, when you're a little kid, you're like, I'm going to win 4 this and 8 world champion, but as I've gotten older, I've kind of cared less about it. Like, obviously, it's a really big deal for me in the program to win 4, but I'm winning 1 this weekend. And if I don't win this weekend, it's not like I lose the other 3. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm just showing up to win a national title this weekend. The fact that it's my 4th will be an afterthought to me. So as much as it is a cool accomplishment, I just haven't thought about it that way really at all.
Jesse Boggspack Pride, thinking back on the spectacle that you guys are talking about, do you find yourselves relying a lot more on your teammates to kind of like drown out that noise? Or, I mean, how's your process of focusing in on it? Is it more of a team identity or of an individual mindset that helps drive that?
Yeah, I would say it's a lot of individual for me. Working on myself mentally and making sure I'm mentally strong. Wrestling's such a mental sport, and keeping myself centered and me down to earth is the main thing for me, and not getting caught up in anything extra, and just coming in here like it's any other wrestling match. I've wrestled thousands of wrestling matches in my life, and this is no different.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of lean on the team. I'm pretty close with our guys, and I think as a team, we're a pretty tight-knit group. So, if you came in the warm-up area, we'd probably be cracking jokes and, making fun of each other in the back. And then when it's someone's time to get serious, they kind of go off and do their thing. But, we keep it light in between. I think it's a good way to, you're not wrestling the whole tournament. You're just wrestling 5 matches.
Yeah, I think it's great to have that support from your teammates, for sure. They can, whenever you're wrestling for your team, you tend to, perform a little better, I think. But, at the end of the day, it is, just you out there on the mat. You don't have your whole team out there with you. So, it is, way more individual than it is, having a team. But it's nice to, know that you have that support in the back. You come back in the back and they're all fired up after a big win. It's always fun.
Another one for Daton. Hi. So you've been here before. You've been a runner-up before. Are you doing anything differently this time to try and win? Is this going to be your year?
Yeah, I think it is my year. I've been, every year I come here, I think it's my year. Every year I've been here, I've thought that I was the best guy in the weight. And I still think that. I've lost a couple close matches and they just didn't go my way. I think that if we wrestle those matches again, then I easily could have done things different and won. But that's in the past, and I'm just focused on my performance each time I step out there. It's the results are going to happen, but I'm just worried about my performance and going out there and getting the job done.
Just for all 3 of you, just what do you think of Tulsa, and what do you think of the facilities here and the BOK?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a really nice venue. We've had everything that we've needed so far. So overall, it's been a great experience. But obviously, the tournament is what makes it count, right? So it's been a good experience so far, and hoping to keep it moving in that direction.
Yeah, I really like Tulsa. It's a great place, especially for a wrestling tournament. I wrestled here when I was younger in Tulsa Nationals, and being back here brings up a lot of good memories. As growing up as a little kid wrestling, so it's pretty cool to be back here.
Obviously, I love it being here in Tulsa. So, I think that it's a great arena. I think some people were a little worried about the size of it. They didn't think it was gonna be big enough, but being down there on the floor, I think is kind of the most space we've had down there on the floor. There's a lot of room on the sides to walk around, and I think that it's a perfect place for to hold the national tournament.
So, Yianni, you made reference to Tulsa Nationals. How many times did you come down here for that?
I've actually never wrestled in the Tulsa Nationals. It's just we like make the joke, you know, kids count how many youth state titles and youth national titles they have, but and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think these guys really care. I know I don't, and it was more just the point like it matters to you because you want to win, but you know when you're 10, it's about getting better.
Events have you attended in this building? Concerts or whatever? What have you seen in this building?
I've been to multiple concerts in this arena, and then obviously the Big 12 championships.
But I mean like entertainment type stuff. What's your favorite show you've seen here?
Seen Luke Combs a couple times here. That's and then I'm seeing Luke Bryan here on August 11th. So,
thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it very much.